Hey, what's up people? Welcome to another video on the channel, and today is going to be a super exciting one because what I have with me is the latest and the most expensive controller ever rebranded by Cosmic Byte. Yes, I said rebranded and not made or launched, and I'll tell you later in the video why I said that. First, let's get on with the unboxing. Here's the box, and you can see the Cosmic Byte branding over here, and it's actually quite a big box compared to other controllers sold by this company. It mentions some details about the product, and here's an image of the controller with its name, Starforge. Let's open the box. Holy hell! You can see they are actually providing replaceable TMR joystick modules in the box itself rather than a separate purchase, which is definitely a good thing. Here's a screwdriver and a joystick puller, and the 2.4 GHz dongle as well. Here you can see that it comes with these 3 additional pairs of joysticks which must have different tensions, and you can choose which you like the most. Honestly, when I first read the package contents before ordering this controller, I thought the 3 extra pairs of joysticks would just be the joystick caps of different heights like the ones they include with other Cosmic Byte controllers like the Ares Pro. But this is actually quite a nice touch because even the original brand product that Cosmic Byte has just rebranded here does not come with all these joystick modules, and you have to buy them separately. Keep watching to know what that original product is. Here's the controller. And here hides the cable, which... nice! It's a braided cable, and Cosmic Byte has added a good touch of color to it to match its brand colors. I like this cable, especially seeing it with a controller in this price range. Speaking of price range, this controller costs about 4,500 on Amazon and is the most expensive controller which I can find being sold by an Indian company. Let's unveil the controller itself. And damn, it's stealthy. It's almost completely black with these translucent ABXY buttons and looks quite clean, I would say. The weight does not seem too light and nor too heavy. The manual claims it to be about 255 grams, and it does feel quite decent to hold. On the front, it has all the usual stuff: joysticks, ABXY, D-pad, home, back, start, turbo, and this function button right here. What's interesting is on the back, as it has these 4 macro buttons over here, with these 2 seem to be quite inspired by the Sony DualSense Edge controller, but not quite. And it has these trigger locks right here to reduce the trigger distance for shooting games. Also interesting to see is that the faceplate is removable and held on to by magnets. Here you go. Now this is so that you can change the joysticks or switch your ABXY to Nintendo Switch layout. This included screwdriver in the box is for this very purpose. You can see it completely switches the legend inside and also changes the button functionality in games accordingly. Now, the most interesting part, which alone may have attracted a lot of you towards this controller, the replaceable joysticks. You just lift them like this, and here you can see the TMR joystick module. Now this actually came with these orange ones, but I opened the box earlier and swapped them with these black ones, as apparently these have the highest tension but don't really feel too different from the orange ones in my opinion. These other pairs, however, are quite light in terms of tension. That is the force required to use them, and might be for you if you want your joysticks to move with the least amount of force. But that's just not for me. You can put the sticks back on. And then this faceplate. Now this controller does not give you the option to adjust stick height, which I think is quite a letdown. You may be able to buy aftermarket sticks or mods for the same. The buttons are all membrane and there are no mechanical switches on this controller, and so the sound of the buttons is just typical with not much to boast about. The D-pad feels decent with not too much wobble, and pressing it feels fine too with minimal chances of accidental diagonals. Other buttons are okay as well, but the legend under these buttons is just too black and is almost unreadable, which some people may like and some may not. The bumpers feel okay and you can press them anywhere you like, and the triggers feel decent too. Now these are advertised to be optical triggers, which mean that they use light to actuate, which theoretically must mean that they should last much longer than traditional triggers and may even be more consistent and longer lasting than Hall effect triggers, but that only time can tell. These trigger locks reduce the overall trigger distance, but it does not make it too short like a mouse click, which some flagship controllers like the GameSir G7 Pro or the ZD Legend do. These back buttons feel okay to press, with this left one making much more noise compared to this right one for some reason. Must be a QC issue. Let's plug this dongle in and turn this thing on, and here you go. Nice. It has these LED strips right here, and the ABXY buttons are illuminated as well, along with this small light in the center right here. The legend in the buttons are recessed so that they can be rotated using the screwdriver as I showed you earlier, and it does give this a very nice look. Oh yes, while there is no rubber grip on this controller, the back plastic has these little dots to help you grip better, and these do seem to do the job, but I personally prefer rubber for the softer feel. A bit of that texture on the triggers over here as well. Now this is also stated to have gyro functionality and can connect to your PC, Android or even Nintendo Switch and iOS devices as well. You can change the connection mode through this toggle on the back. This has 4 total vibration motors as per the brand, 2 being the traditional ones in the grips and 2 in the triggers, making them impulse triggers. I'll test the motors later too. Now from the first impressions, this does seem to look like a solid option for the price, but as I mentioned earlier, this is just a rebranded product brought to India by Cosmic Byte without mentioning the original company or product anywhere. From what I could find, Rexes is an Indonesian brand and they have launched this exact controller 2 months ago in Indonesia with the name Dairon AX9. You can check that out later. It may be that Rexes and Cosmic Byte may have both contacted the exact same Chinese manufacturer and got this exact same product made and launched in their respective countries, as from what I could find about Rexes, they share somewhat of a similar reputation in Indonesia that Cosmic Byte does in India. They sell this controller for a converted price of about 3,500 rupees there without the additional TMR joystick modules, so the price set by Cosmic Byte in India with the modules seem kinda justified, but you be the judge here, as I think most people would just set one module and the rest of them will just lie somewhere forgotten and may get damaged with the passage of time. Anyway, this still seemed like a decent controller for the price, although it does not have a charging dock functionality like the Cosmic Byte Stellaris, which may deter some people. Now let's test its buttons and vibrations. All the buttons seem to work fine, and the trigger locks do change it to a 0-1 system internally too, which is good. The vibrations seem fine as well, although I would say it's nothing to write home about. The company claims it has something called HD voice coil vibration, but I find it normal among controllers in this price range. It is not bad, and it certainly gets the job done of providing you decent haptic feedback in games. The sticks show an overall circularity error of almost 0%, which is a very good thing, but something that's expected to be standard from TMR joysticks. You can change the shape of these sticks from circular to square if you want by pressing function plus L3 or R3 for respective joysticks, and in this it shows an average error of about 10%. Although not too many games support impulse triggers, this app lets you test it, and pressing the trigger, vibration does seem okay, but for some reason, pressing one trigger is making the vibrations to be felt on the other side as well. Might just test it later in an actual game to see what that's about. Well, this was the unboxing and initial overview of this controller. I will be testing this out thoroughly over the next few days and will also be looking into its technical specs like the polling rate, which is claimed to be 1000 Hz, and will also check its latency and stick response. That video will be out very soon as well and will be linked to this video. For now, this seems to be a decent controller on paper for the features it offers, but considering the reputation and quality of Cosmic Byte products, its real life usage may or may not reflect the same. I'll test that out as much as I can. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, do press the like button or dislike if you didn't like it, and comment any query that you may have about this controller, and I will try to cover them all in the full in-depth review of this product. Till then, thanks for watching.